Legislature passes a new law about respecting the Chinese national anthem. Why now? And why does it matter? And protests over the death of George Floyd take aim at other issues. Hollywood self-censors and the BLM movement tears down a statue in the UK. Has the US exported its culture wars to the UK? And have both societies reached the point of no return? Welcome to The Point, an opinion show coming to you live from Beijing. I'm Lyu Xiang. China's National Anthem Ordinance took effect in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region on Friday. The bill was passed by the HKSAR's Legislative Council and signed by Chief Executive Carrie Lam. The law prevents and punishes offences against the national anthem of China. Why does it matter? Could the law help Hong Kong exit from its current crisis, or will it deepen it? As critics call this the latest step in the central government's bid to tighten its grip on the city. For more, I'm pleased to be joined from Hong Kong by Cheung Siu Wai, Senior Lecturer at the Hong Kong Baptist University, and from Beijing via Skype by Professor Lyu Xiang, Research Fellow at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Gentlemen, welcome to The Point. So Wai, give us a bit of a background on the timing of the reading of the bill. It is the local implementation of the National Anthem Law of China, which came into force on the Chinese mainland on October the 1st, 2017. And the law was added to Hong Kong SAR's Basic Law in November 2017. Now, it replaces an earlier national flag and national emblem ordinance, which had been in effect since July the 1st, 1997. So why did the bill get passed now, and what do you make of its timing? What triggered the legislation?
I think the National Anthem Law was prepared a long time ago, and 2 years ago when the national law was passed, Hong Kong needed to pass its own law in accordance with in the same direction. So Hong Kong had started this, but in the last 2 years, the procedure has been delayed, and particularly since the last elections, there are a lot of other opposition within the Legislative Council. Some of the opposition leaders wanted to use the procedures to prevent this law from becoming a law. And their argument is that this will instill the kind of Chinese national laws in Hong Kong. Actually, every country has its national laws, and
right.
The laws including some of the respect to the national flag, respect to the national anthem, and
yeah.
Hong Kong is no exception to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a moment.
So last week
Yeah. We'll talk about that in just a moment, how special or how common it is for a part of China to respect the national anthem. But I want to go to Professor Lyu Xiang to help us understand a little bit the specifics of this law. For instance, the ordinance specifies the standard, etiquette and occasion for playing and singing China's national anthem. It outlines occasions when the anthem must be played, such as officials or legislators taking oaths of office, flag-raising ceremonies, some government receptions and major sporting events. The penalty could be as high as 50,000 Hong Kong dollars and up to 3 years in jail. Professor Lyu, what does this law require of the people of HongOng?
Hi, Lyu Xiang. Actually, this law, new law in Hong Kong, actually is, as you said, it's just a local implementation of the national law. But you know, Hong Kong is an autonomous region with which the government have endowed quite many powers for the local government, and now it's required that local government to pass the law according in the framework of the Hong Kong legal system. So now we see actually the ordinance is very detailed, and it has measures in dealing with those people who violate this law. You see the punishment. Actually, you know, we wish that people respect the national anthem according to their volition, but not in all cases they do that. So this law has clear articles on punishing those people who violate the law. So it's it's a very very great progress.
Let me ask you, what is the difference between the previous national flag and national emblem ordinance? Or is this the very first time for the Hong Kong SAR, Siu Wai, to have a law on national anthem? If so, why has it taken 23 years since Hong Kong been handed over to Chinese rule in 1997?
Yeah,
I think part of the reasons.
Siu Wai, please. Siu Wai in Hong Kong, please.
Yeah. I think part of the reason is that there were some of the disrespectful acts in Hong Kong. For instance, at the international soccer match, some of the people who would stand up when the national anthem is played, but they will boo the national anthem. And this disrespect has been punished by the authorities in the International Football Association, Asian Football Association, like that. But the fact is, this kind of acts shows the disrespect to the national sovereignty, and also to a certain extent, they make the people think that the national symbol can be tarnished or something. So this is a new law that should correct this kind of behavior. So that is probably the main reason for enacting such a law. Inside mainland China, you don't see this, and in many other countries, you don't see this, but in Hong Kong, you see this. So from the national dignity point of view and the national respect point of view, in an international soccer match between two teams, each side will play their national anthem, and Hong Kong is part of China, so the Chinese national anthem should be played, and everyone should respect this, despite of your political stance.
Well, Singapore requires people, for instance, to stand, and would penalize anyone for not singing the official arrangement when the national anthem is being played. Or Germany mandates imprisonment not exceeding 3 years, or a fine for publicly insulting the anthem of the Federal Republic or its states. The UK, Australia have their own protocols. Professor Lyu, why does it become an issue when it is applied when it comes to Hong Kong? And why there have been such strong feelings of dissatisfaction, displeasure, or disrespect to China's national anthem 23 years after Hong Kong returned to Chinese rule?
Yes, it's a problem. You know, actually, Hong Kong's special status is a historical issue. It returned to the central government only 23 years ago. You can see that 23 years is quite a long time, but actually, in the long history, it's not so long. And now it takes time for the central government to make a determination to ask the Hong Kong government to follow the central or the national law. Actually, on the other side, you see that some Western countries, especially the UK, they has a historical relation with this region, and after they handed the administration to China's central government, some of the British people still feel frustrated. They don't want to see that the Hong Kong SAR is very well integrated to the mainland. So it's a problem, and it's ongoing. In the future, we will still see such a problem. And but what I hope is to see less and less issues.
Yeah, well, China's national flag law, national emblem law were introduced and included into the Basic Law in 1997. Now the national flag and national emblem ordinance of the Hong Kong SAR took effect on July the 1st, 1997. As I said, Siu Wai, now that the anthem, National Anthem Ordinance is gazetted. What's the significance of the whole set of laws protecting symbols of the nation, of national sovereignty for the Special Administrative Region?
I think it is very important because in every place you will see the national symbols, and even with some characters, and this kind of thing has never been instituted into the minds of the people in Hong Kong. And according to the historical records, most of these countries would have their own teachings in primary school and secondary school, and getting the people know their history. And Hong Kong has been returned to China 23 years ago. Still, in this regard, we would see some of the lack of education in the history. And so probably this new law, new ordinance, would bring to some of the primary schools and the middle schools for the teachers to teach more on the history of China. And also because the national anthem is the song which were sung by people during the Second World War, the anti-Japanese war. So this has the significance of the uniting the nation, uniting the people to fight aggressors and try to unify the country. And so in that respect, this is also very important.
By the way, the Chinese national anthem is called March of the Volunteers. It indeed came from the period when China was fighting imperialist aggressions by Japanese imperialist armies. Professor Lyu, some people are saying the law is the latest sign of the central government in Beijing to tighten grip on Hong Kong, and they somehow like to connect this law with the national security legislation for Hong Kong that is being drafted. What is your answer?
Yes, it's actually it's right to say that this law is connected to the national security laws. All these issues are relating to the national dignity, to the national security, and now this law of national anthem is just about anthem, but it's related to the whole issue of how the central government will govern this autonomous region.
Is it the latest sign of the central government tightening grip on Hong Kong?
No. Actually, it's just necessary. It's natural for the central government to ask the local government to make a law implementing the national laws.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks to Cheung Siu Wai joining us from Hong Kong and Lyu Xiang joining us from Beijing. We'll take a short break, and when we return, tearing down statues and censoring classic movies, what does the Black Lives Matter movement want? Has it gone too far? Stay with me.